Commander Vecthar stood on the bridge of his warship, looking at the blue and green planet below. His chest plates gleamed under the red lights of the command center. Behind him, 40 screens showed different parts of the Krillian fleet. 300 ships, all ready for war. This was his 48th conquest. 47 worlds had fallen before him. This one would be no different. "Commander, we are receiving a transmission from the planet," his communication officer said. "Put it on screen," Vecthar ordered. The image flickered. A human appeared. He wore a simple gray uniform with no decorations. His face was calm. Too calm. The human had soft skin, small teeth, and weak-looking limbs. Vecthar had seen the scans. Humans had no natural armor, no claws, no venom. They were fragile. "I am Commander Tae-hyun of the new Gyeongju Defense Force," the human said. His voice was steady. "We have detected your fleet. We ask that you state your intentions." Vecthar activated his translator. "I am Commander Vecthar of the Krillian Empire. Your world now belongs to us. Surrender immediately, and your people will be allowed to live as workers under our rule." Tae-hyun's expression did not change. No fear crossed his face. Strange. Most species showed terror when they first saw a Krillian warrior. Vecthar was twice the size of any human. His armored body could crush steel. His 4 arms could tear through walls. "That is not acceptable," Tae-hyun said simply. "We request that you leave our system peacefully." Vecthar laughed. The sound echoed through his ship's bridge. His crew joined in. Leave? A Krillian fleet had never retreated from a conquest. "You misunderstand your position," Vecthar said. "We have 300 warships. Our soldiers are the finest warriors in this sector. We have conquered 47 worlds. You cannot win." "Perhaps," Tae-hyun replied, "but we can make you regret trying." Another human appeared beside Tae-hyun, a female with short black hair and intelligent eyes. She wore white clothing with scientific symbols. "I am Dr. Hana Sul," she said. "Before you attack, you should know something about humans. We come from a difficult world. We have survived many threats. We do not surrender easily." Vecthar waved one of his hands dismissively. "Every species thinks they are special. Every species thinks they can resist. They are all wrong. You have 1 Earth hour to surrender. After that, we will take your world by force." The transmission ended. Vecthar turned to his tactical officer. "Begin preparations for landing. I want ground forces ready in 30 minutes. "Commander," his science officer called out, "I am detecting unusual activity on the planet's surface." "What kind of activity?" "Mass movements. The humans are evacuating their cities. They are moving people into underground locations. And they are moving military equipment into defensive positions." Vecthar studied the data. Most species panicked when invasion came. They ran in random directions. They cried. They begged for mercy. But the humans moved with purpose. Every vehicle followed a route. Every person knew where to go. It was organized, efficient. "They are preparing to fight," his tactical officer observed. "Let them prepare," Vecthar said. "It will not matter. Begin the landing operation." The Krillian fleet moved into position. Hundreds of landing craft launched from the larger ships. They descended through the atmosphere like metal rain. Vecthar watched from his command chair. This part always excited him. The moment before conquest. His personal landing craft touched down in a field outside the human city. The ramp lowered. Vecthar stepped onto human soil for the first time. The air smelled different here, organic. The gravity was lighter than his home world. He felt even stronger. Around him, thousands of Krillian warriors assembled. Each one carried weapons designed to shatter bone and burn flesh. Each one had trained since childhood for war. They formed ranks with military precision. "Forward!" Vekthar commanded. The army advanced toward the city. It was called New Gyeongju, according to their intelligence. Buildings rose in the distance, but something was wrong. The streets were empty. No civilians ran screaming. No soldiers stood in the open to fight. "Sir, motion detected," a squad leader reported. "Buildings at grid reference 7-4. Vekthar looked up. Windows. Empty windows looking down at them like dark eyes. He felt something strange, something he had not felt in many years. A small warning in the back of his mind. Then the shooting started. Weapons fire erupted from buildings, from underground positions, from places Vekthar had not even seen. His soldiers fell. Not many. The human weapons were weak compared to Krillian armor, but they fell nonetheless. "Return fire!" Vekthar ordered. "Advance to contact!" The Krillian warriors charged forward. They were faster than humans, stronger. They smashed through doors and climbed walls. But when they entered the buildings, the humans were gone. They found only empty rooms and more traps. An explosion tore through a building to Vekthar's left. 10 of his warriors disappeared in flames. The building collapsed. The humans had destroyed their own structure just to kill his soldiers. "They rigged the buildings with explosives," his tactical officer reported through the communication system. "They are letting us enter, then detonating." "Then don't enter the buildings," Vekthar snapped. "Destroy them from outside." His heavy weapons teams opened fire. Buildings exploded, walls crumbled. But still the humans fought. They appeared from underground tunnels. They fired from vehicles that moved fast and then disappeared. They used the rubble for cover. Vekthar shot a human soldier who appeared from behind a broken wall. The human fell. But before dying, the human threw something. A small device. It exploded near a Krillian squad. 3 warriors fell. "They are using suicide tactics," someone reported. "No," Vekthar said slowly. He was beginning to understand. "They are using sacrifice tactics. They trade their lives for ours, willingly." As the sun set on the first day, Vekthar stood among the ruins. His army had advanced 5 kilometers. They had destroyed half the city, but the cost was terrible. Nearly 400 Krillian warriors were dead or wounded, in one day, fighting one city. "Commander," his second-in-command approached. "Casualties are 40% higher than any previous first-day operation." Vekthar said nothing. He looked at the darkened city ahead. Somewhere in those ruins, the humans were waiting, planning. They fought like no species he had ever encountered. They did not meet him with honor in open battle. They struck from shadows. They used tricks. They made every meter of ground cost blood. His communication device activated. Commander Tae-hyun's face appeared again. "You have taken half a city," the human said quietly. "And it cost you 400 soldiers. We have 30 cities on this planet. Do the mathematics, Commander. Can you afford this victory?" The transmission ended before Vekthar could respond. For the first time in his long military career, Commander Vekthar wondered if he had made a mistake. 3 days had passed since the landing. Vekthar had conquered worlds in less time, but New Gyeongju was different. The humans refused to break. He stood in what was once a government building. Now it served as his command post. Maps covered the walls showing battle positions. Red marks indicated Krillian casualties. There were too many red marks. "Report," Vekthar ordered his officers. "Sectors 3 through 7 are under our control," the tactical officer said. "But the humans continue to attack supply lines. Last night they destroyed 3 ammunition depots. We lost 60 soldiers." "How?" Vekthar demanded. "Those depots were guarded." "The humans tunneled underneath. They used explosives. The guards never saw them coming." Vekthar's hands clenched into fists. Tunnels. The humans were like burrowing insects. They moved underground where sensors could not track them easily. They popped up, struck, and vanished. "What about the human command structure?" he asked. "Have we located their leaders?" "No, sir. They appear to operate in small independent cells. Each group acts without central coordination. When we destroy one cell, others continue fighting. That was another strange thing. Most armies needed commanders giving orders. Cut off the head and the body died. But human soldiers seemed to think for themselves. They adapted to situations without waiting for instructions. "Sir, we have captured a human patrol," an officer reported. 3 soldiers. They are being brought here now." "Good. Perhaps we can get information from them." Minutes later, guards brought in 3 human soldiers, 2 males and 1 female. They wore torn uniforms and had injuries, but they stood straight. No begging, no crying. They looked at Vekthar with calm eyes. One of them was the female. Her name tag read Yuri Nam. "You are Lieutenant Yuri Nam?" Vekthar asked through his translator. "Yes," she replied simply. "You will tell me where your command center is located." "No." Vekthar moved closer. He towered over her. His shadow covered all 3 prisoners. "I can make you tell me." "You can try," Yuri said. Her voice did not shake. "But humans have high tolerance for pain. We have been torturing each other for thousands of years. We know all the methods. They do not work as well as you think." Vekthar stared at her. What kind of species tortured its own kind for thousands of years? What kind of creature admitted this without shame? "Take them to holding cells," he ordered. "We will question them later." As the guards led the prisoners away, Yuri looked back at him. "You should leave while you can," she said. "Earth has received our distress call. The fleet is coming." "Empty threats," Vekthar said. But something in her eyes made him uncertain. That night, the humans proved they were not done fighting. An alarm woke Vekthar from his sleep. Explosions rocked the command building. He grabbed his weapon and ran to the command center. "Report!" he shouted. "Human strike team!" an officer gasped. He was wounded. Green blood ran down his arm. "They breached the perimeter. They are inside the building." "How many?" "Unknown. Maybe 10. Maybe more." 10 humans had penetrated a building defended by 300 Krillian warriors. Impossible. Yet it was happening. Vekthar heard weapons fire from the floor below. He grabbed a squad and moved toward the sound. They found bodies. Krillian bodies. Dead in their barracks, killed while sleeping. "Monsters," one of his soldiers whispered. "No," Vekthar said. "Soldiers. Efficient soldiers." They tracked the human team through the building. Blood trails led them forward. The humans were wounded but still fighting, still moving. They reached an external wall, found ropes hanging down. The humans had already escaped. Vekthar looked out the window. In the darkness he saw movement. Quick shadows running across open ground. One of them stopped, looked back. Even from this distance, Vekthar could see the figure was small, human-sized. The figure waved, then disappeared into the night. It was a message. "We can reach you anywhere. You are not safe even in your own base." For the first time in his life, Vekthar felt something cold in his chest. Not anger, not frustration, fear. Real fear. The next morning, he called for Captain Jin Woo. Intelligence said Jin Woo commanded a human unit in the eastern sector. Perhaps if Vekthar eliminated this commander, the humans would lose coordination. "Sir," his tactical officer said, "we have located Jin Woo's unit. They are retreating toward the industrial district." "Retreating?" Vekthar stood up. "How many soldiers do we have in pursuit?" "Battalion strength. 600 warriors." "Good. Tell them to destroy that unit. No survivors." The pursuit lasted 3 hours. Vekthar watched through drone cameras. The humans ran through streets. They looked panicked, disorganized. His soldiers closed in from all sides. The humans entered a large factory complex, old buildings, rusted metal, perfect place to trap them. "Move in," Vekthar ordered. "Surround the complex. Then advance. His warriors entered the factory from 4 directions. They moved through empty rooms, found abandoned equipment, searched for the humans. Then Jin Woo's voice came over their communication channels. Somehow the humans had hacked their frequency. "Commander Vecthar," Jin Woo said, "you are very predictable. Thank you for sending so many soldiers to one location." "What are you?" Vecthar began. The factory complex exploded. The blast was massive. It destroyed everything within 200 meters. Fire rose into the sky. Vecthar watched in horror as 600 of his finest warriors vanished in seconds. "No," he whispered. "No! No!" The humans had turned the entire factory into a bomb. They had let themselves be chased. They had made his soldiers think they were winning. Then they had destroyed everything. "Casualties?" he asked quietly. "Total loss, sir. The entire battalion is gone." Vecthar sat down heavily. His legs felt weak. In one day, he had lost more soldiers than in his last 5 conquests combined. His communication device activated. Commander Tae Hyun appeared on screen again. "We warned you," Tae Hyun said. His calm voice now sounded different. It sounded dangerous. "Humans do not fight fair. We fight to win. We will sacrifice our buildings, our resources, even our lives, because we know something you do not understand." "What?" Vecthar asked. "We know how to survive. Our world tried to kill us every day for millions of years. Ice ages, diseases, predators, asteroids. We survived them all. You think you can break us in a few days? We have fought wars among ourselves that lasted generations. We have built weapons that can destroy our own planet. And we are still here." Tae Hyun leaned forward. "You attacked the wrong species, Commander. And now you will learn why other species in this galaxy leave humans alone." The transmission ended. Vecthar looked at his remaining officers. They looked back at him with uncertainty. They had never seen their commander shaken. They had never lost a battle before. "Sir," one of them said quietly, "what are your orders?" Vecthar did not answer immediately. He thought about the humans, small, soft, weak, but they fought like demons. They used their world's resources as weapons. They treated their own lives as acceptable losses if it meant victory. And somewhere above this planet, a human fleet was coming. If these were just colonists defending their homes, what would trained human warriors be like? "Continue the occupation," he finally said. "But request reinforcements from the fleet. We will need more soldiers." Many more soldiers. Week 2 of the occupation began with orbital bombardment. Vecthar had requested permission from Fleet Command. If the humans would not surrender, he would destroy their cities from space. No more ground battles. No more traps. "Target the remaining population centers," he ordered. "Reduce them to rubble." The fleet's weapons fired from orbit. Beams of energy struck the planet's surface. Explosions bloomed like flowers of fire. Buildings vaporized. Whole sections of cities disappeared in moments. Vecthar watched the destruction with satisfaction. This was how war should be fought, with overwhelming force from a position of safety. "Scan for life signs," he commanded. His science officer studied the screens. "Sir, the cities are destroyed, but life sign readings are minimal. Most of the human population was not present." "What do you mean, not present?" "They evacuated before the bombardment. They must have predicted our strategy." Of course they did. The humans seemed to predict everything. They thought like Vecthar thought. No, they thought better. They stayed ahead of him. Where did they go? Underground. Our sensors detect massive cave systems beneath the planet's surface. The humans have moved into them. They have created bases in the caves. We cannot target them from orbit. Vecthar slammed his fist on his command chair. The humans were like water, impossible to grasp. Hit them, and they flowed away, appeared somewhere else. "Sir, we are receiving a transmission," his communication officer said. "It is being broadcast on all frequencies, Audio only. Play it. A female voice filled the bridge. It spoke in clear Krillian language. People of the Krillian Empire, I am Dr. Hana Sul of the human colony of New Gyeongju. You have attacked our world. You have killed our people, but you have not defeated us. Let me tell you why you cannot win. Vekthar wanted to cut off the transmission, but something made him listen. Humans evolved on a planet called Earth, Hana continued. Earth is what we call a death world. The gravity is heavy. The weather is violent. Diseases kill millions. Predators hunt in the darkness. For 3 million years, everything on our planet tried to kill us. And we survived. Her voice grew stronger. We survived ice ages that covered half our world in ice. We survived volcanic eruptions that blocked out the sun. We survived plagues that killed 2/3 of our population. We survived wars where we used nuclear weapons on our own cities. And we are still here. We learned to turn everything into a weapon. We learned to fight in any environment. We learned that survival matters more than honor, more than tradition, more than rules. We learned to do whatever it takes to win. So when you came to our world with your 300 ships and your superior strength, you made one mistake. You thought we would fight like other species. We do not. We fight like humans. And humans never stop, never surrender, never forgive. There was a pause. Then Hana spoke again, softer now. You can still leave. We do not want this war. But if you stay, we will show you why humans are the most dangerous species in this sector of space. The transmission ended. Silence filled the bridge. Vekthar's crew looked at each other. Some looked worried. Good. They should be worried. It is propaganda, Vekthar said. Designed to weaken our resolve. Ignore it. But he could not ignore it. The words stayed in his mind. Death world. Never stop. Never surrender. That night, the humans struck again. Not at military targets. They attacked the fleet in orbit. Sir, multiple small craft approaching the fleet, sensors reported. They appeared from the planet's surface, moving at high speed. Destroy them, Vekthar ordered. The fleet's defensive weapons opened fire. They destroyed most of the human craft, but some got through. They crashed into Krillian ships, deliberately. The pilots drove their vehicles directly into warship engines. They are using suicide attacks, someone said. Kamikaze, another officer corrected. An old human word. It means divine wind. They used this tactic in their ancient wars. Vekthar watched as 2 of his ships began losing altitude. The suicide craft had damaged their engines. The ships fell toward the planet. They crashed in the ocean. Thousands of Krillian crew died. Launch fighters, Vekthar commanded. Patrol the space around the fleet. Destroy any human craft before they reach us. For 3 days, the pattern continued. Human craft would launch from hidden locations. Krillian fighters would intercept them. Most humans died, but some always got through. And every time one got through, a Krillian ship was damaged or destroyed. They are trading their lives for our ships, the tactical officer observed. 10 human pilots for one of our vessels. They accept those odds. What kind of species does this? Vekthar asked, not expecting an answer. A desperate one, his second-in-command said, or a determined one. On the surface, the ground war continued. Vekthar's soldiers hunted human teams through mountains and forests. But the humans knew the terrain. They set traps everywhere. A Krillian patrol would step on a hidden mine. An entire squad would fall into a camouflaged pit. Soldiers would drink from a stream poisoned by the humans. One patrol reported contact with a human engineer named Kwan Seo. He had rigged an entire valley with explosives. When Krillian forces entered, he detonated everything. The valley collapsed, 200 warriors buried alive. How long to dig them out? Vekthar asked. 3 days, sir. If we commit all available resources. Do it. But while his forces dug out the buried soldiers, humans attacked elsewhere. They were forcing him to divide his army, spread his resources thin. A communication came from one of his ground commanders. "Sir, we have a problem. We caught several humans planting devices near our water supply." "What kind of devices?" "Chemical weapons, poison. If they had succeeded, they would have contaminated our entire water system. Thousands would have died." Vecthar felt cold again. The humans were trying to poison them, like vermin. No honor, no rules, just death by any means. "Execute the prisoners," he ordered. "Sir, that violates the Krillian Code of War. Prisoners must be—" "Execute them," Vecthar shouted. "These humans do not deserve mercy. They are animals, terrorists." The officer nodded and cut the communication. That evening, Vecthar received another message, this time from Yuri Nam. Somehow she had escaped from the holding cells. Somehow she was still alive. Her face appeared on his screen. She had new scars, fresh wounds, but her eyes were hard as steel. "You executed our soldiers," she said. "That was a mistake, Commander. We follow rules when our enemies follow rules, but if you break the rules, so will we. Now this war has no limits." "Good," Vecthar said. "Then we will exterminate you. All of you." Yuri smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of a predator. "You can try, but let me tell you what will happen. Every day we will kill your soldiers. We will poison your food. We will sabotage your equipment. We will make you afraid to sleep, afraid to eat, afraid to breathe. This is our world. We know every cave, every forest, every mountain, and we will use all of it to destroy you." She leaned closer to the camera. "You think you are hunters. You are not. You are prey, and we are very, very good at hunting." The transmission ended. Vecthar sat in silence. He tried to feel angry. Instead, he felt something else, something he had not felt since he was young, since before he became a warrior. He felt hunted. Outside his window, the night sky was dark. Somewhere in that darkness, humans were moving, planning, preparing their next attack, and he had no way to stop them. For the first time, Vecthar understood Dr. Hana's words. Humans did not fight to win glory. They fought to survive, and survival knew no limits, no mercy, no end. He looked at the tactical map. His forces controlled less ground than a week ago. His casualties grew daily. His soldiers looked over their shoulders constantly, and somewhere above this cursed planet, the Earth fleet was coming. Every day closer, every day more certain. Vecthar closed his eyes. He wondered if he would live to see that fleet arrive, or if the humans would kill him first, slowly, painfully, in some clever trap he would never see coming. Sleep did not come easy that night. 3 weeks after the invasion began, they arrived. Vecthar was reviewing casualty reports when alarms screamed across the fleet. Every ship went to combat alert. Officers ran to their stations, weapons powered up. "Report," Vecthar demanded. "Sir, multiple ships emerging from faster-than-light travel. Distance, 3 million kilometers. They are—" The sensor officer paused. "Sir, it is a large fleet. Very large." "How large?" 900 ships. Capital class. And they are broadcasting human identification codes." 900 ships. 3 times the size of the Krillian fleet. Vecthar had 200 ships left. He had lost a third of his original force to the colonists. "Battle stations. Prepare for engagement." On the main screen, the human fleet assembled in formation. The ships were different from Krillian design. Sleeker, faster-looking. They moved with precision, like a school of predatory fish. A transmission came through. A human female appeared. She wore a dark blue uniform with rank insignia. Her hair was tied back. Her face showed no emotion. "I am Battle Coordinator Han Sora. of the Earth Alliance fleet. You have attacked our colony. You have killed our people. You have rejected all offers of peace. This is your final warning. Leave this system immediately or face destruction. Vecthar straightened in his command chair. I am Commander Vecthar of the Krillian Empire. This world is now Krillian territory. We do not retreat. If you want this planet, you will have to take it. Han Sora nodded slowly. Very well. You have made your choice. The transmission ended. For a moment, nothing happened. Both fleets hung in space, two forces about to collide. Then the human fleet moved. They did not charge forward like Krillian tactics taught. They split into smaller groups. Each group moved in different directions. They surrounded the Krillian fleet from all sides. Sir, they are using pack tactics, the tactical officer said. Like hunting animals. All ships. Maintain formation, Vecthar ordered. Concentrate fire on the closest human vessels. The Krillian fleet opened fire. Energy beams crossed the darkness. They struck human shields. Some human ships took damage, but the humans did not slow down. Then the humans fired back. Their weapons were different, not energy beams. They launched physical projectiles, thousands of them, small missiles that moved incredibly fast. The Krillian defensive systems tried to shoot them down, but there were too many. Missiles struck Krillian ships. Explosions rippled across hulls. Shields failed. Armor cracked. Sir, they are using overwhelming numbers, Weapons Control reported. They launch 1,000 missiles for every target. Our defenses cannot stop them all. Focus fire. Destroy their command ships. But the human fleet had no obvious command structure. Every ship acted independently. When one ship was destroyed, the others continued without pause. They coordinated perfectly without central leadership. A human battleship broke through the Krillian line. It headed straight for Vecthar's flagship. Sir, we need to evade, his pilot said. No, stand our ground. All weapons, target that ship. 20 Krillian vessels concentrated fire on the human battleship. Its shields flared bright. Sections of hull melted. But it kept coming, like a wounded animal too angry to die. The human ship rammed into a Krillian cruiser. Both ships exploded. The blast destroyed 2 more Krillian vessels nearby. They used their own ship as a weapon, someone gasped. Keep firing, Vecthar ordered, but his voice shook slightly. The battle lasted 6 hours. It was chaos. Human ships moved too fast, changed tactics too quickly. They used weapons Vecthar had never seen, missiles that split into smaller missiles, mines that hung in space waiting for ships to pass, drones that attached to Krillian vessels and exploded. When the battle ended, Vecthar had lost 90 more ships. The human fleet had lost 60, but they still had 840 ships. He had 110. Sir, the humans are launching landing craft, sensors reported. Thousands of them. They are sending troops to the planet's surface. All ground forces prepare for assault, Vecthar broadcast. This is total war now. Show no mercy. He took his own shuttle down to the planet. If this was his last battle, he would fight it on the ground. Like a true warrior. The landing zones were chaos. Human ships dropped soldiers in powered armor. The armor was black and gray. It made the humans twice their normal size. They carried weapons that fired explosive rounds, energy blades, rockets. These were not colonists. These were professional soldiers. A human squad attacked Vecthar's position. Their leader was a male named Colonel Dae Jin, according to intercepted communications. He moved through the battlefield like death itself. His armor absorbed weapons fire. His gun cut down Krillian warriors like crops. Vecthar engaged him directly. He charged with his 4 arms ready. He was stronger than any human, faster, more experienced. Dae Jin did not run. He activated his armor's power system. Suddenly he moved as fast as Vecthar, hit as hard as Vecthar. They traded blows. Metal against armor, strength against strength. But Dae Jin had something Vecthar did not. He had backup. 3 more human soldiers appeared. They fired at Vecthar from different angles. He blocked some shots, dodged others, but he could not stop them all. Pain exploded in his side, his leg, his shoulder. He fell to one knee. Dae-jin stood over him, pointed his weapon at Vecthar's head. For a moment, Vecthar thought he would die, expected it, almost welcomed it. But Dae-jin lowered his weapon. "Surrender," he said through his helmet speakers. "This war is over." "Never," Vecthar gasped. "Then die stupidly," Dae-jin said. But he did not fire. He simply walked away, moved to the next battle, left Vecthar alive but defeated. Around him, the battle raged. Vecthar saw things that would haunt him forever. He saw a human soldier named Sergeant Wu Rin lose an arm to an explosion. The human's armor sealed the wound automatically. Wu Rin picked up his weapon with his remaining hand, kept fighting, did not retreat, did not stop, just kept shooting until his squad was safe behind cover. He saw human medics running into fire to save wounded soldiers, saw engineers building defensive walls while under attack, saw communications officers coordinating dozens of units simultaneously. The humans fought like machines, but they were not machines. They were living beings who chose to fight this way, who trained themselves to ignore pain, to push through fear, to never stop until victory or death. By sunset, the Krillian ground forces were broken, scattered, defeated. The humans controlled the landing zones. They were advancing toward Krillian positions with unstoppable momentum. Vecthar crawled to a communication device, found a working channel. "All forces, all ships, retreat, full retreat, leave the system." "Sir, the High Command has not authorized—" "I am authorizing it!" Vecthar shouted. "We cannot win this battle. We will all die if we stay. Retreat now!" His fleet began pulling back. Those ships that could still fly. They gathered survivors from the surface, left behind equipment, weapons, even wounded who could not be moved quickly. The human fleet let them go, did not pursue. They had won. That was enough. As Vecthar's flagship limped away from New Gyeongju, he looked back at the planet one last time. It looked peaceful from orbit, blue and green and beautiful. Like it had not just witnessed one of the bloodiest battles in Krillian history. Commander Tae Hyun's voice came over the communication channel. One final message. "Commander Vecthar, I hope you learned something today. Humans can be your friends or your enemies. We prefer friendship, but we excel at war. We have been practicing for 3 million years. Every species that tried to destroy us is extinct. Think about that." The transmission ended. Vecthar thought about it. He thought about nothing else as his fleet jumped to faster-than-light speed, as they fled from the humans like cowards, as he realized the terrible truth. He had not faced soldiers. He had faced evolution's perfect survivors, and they had shown him mercy only because they chose to, not because he deserved it. That was the most frightening thing of all. 6 months later, Commander Vecthar stood before the Krillian High Command. The Grand Chamber was filled with the Empire's most powerful leaders. They sat in elevated seats looking down at him. Their faces showed disappointment, anger, disgust. "Explain yourself," the High Commander said. His voice echoed through the hall. "You led 300 ships against a human colony, a single colony, and you lost." Vecthar kept his head up. His wounds had healed, but other scars remained, the kind that could not be seen. "The humans are not like other species," he began. "They fight differently. They do not value honor over victory. They use every advantage, every weapon, every tactic. They are willing to sacrifice anything to win." "Excuses," another commander said. "You are a warrior with 47 successful conquests. You should have adapted. Instead, you retreated like a coward." "I retreated to save lives," Vecthar replied. "If we had stayed, the entire fleet would have been destroyed. Every soldier would have died. The humans were willing to accept any losses to achieve victory. We were not." You fear them, the High Commander observed. Vekthar paused, then nodded. Yes, I fear them, as should we all. Murmurs ran through the chamber. A Krillian commander admitting fear. It was unheard of. Show them, the High Commander ordered. Screens activated around the chamber. Combat footage began playing. The High Command watched in silence as human colonists set traps, as they destroyed their own buildings, as they used suicide tactics. Then they watched the space battle, watched human ships ram Krillian vessels, watched missiles overwhelm defenses. Finally, they watched ground combat, watched human soldiers fight with one arm, watched them push through wounds that should have been fatal, watched them coordinate like a hive mind while maintaining individual initiative. When the footage ended, the chamber was silent. This was one colony, Vekthar said quietly. One small settlement. The Earth Alliance has hundreds of worlds, billions of soldiers. If we go to war with Earth, we will lose. Not because we are weak, but because they are stronger. Not in body, in mind, in determination, in the willingness to do whatever it takes. The High Commander leaned forward. What do you recommend? Peace, immediately, before they decide we are enemies who must be destroyed. 2 weeks later, Vekthar found himself on a space station. Neutral territory. Across a table sat 3 humans, Commander Tae-hyun, Dr. Hana Sul, and Battle Coordinator Han Sora. They looked small, fragile. Without their armor or weapons, they seemed harmless, but Vekthar knew better. These 3 had defeated him, had destroyed his reputation, had changed the Krillian Empire's entire strategy. Thank you for agreeing to meet, Hana said. Her voice was polite, calm, like they were discussing weather instead of war. The Krillian Empire wishes to apologize, Vekthar said. The words tasted bitter, but he said them anyway. We attacked your colony without provocation. We underestimated you. We were wrong. Yes, you were, Tae-hyun agreed. No anger in his voice, just fact. We wish to negotiate peace terms. Han Sora pushed a document across the table. These are our terms. Non-aggression pact, trade agreements, mutual defense against outside threats, and one additional requirement. What requirement? You will tell other species what happened at New Gyeongju. You will warn them. Humans are peaceful. We prefer cooperation. But if attacked, we will defend ourselves with every weapon we have. We want the galaxy to know. Vekthar looked at the document. The terms were fair, generous even. The humans could have demanded much more. They could have demanded territory, resources, subjugation. Instead, they wanted only peace and respect. I accept these terms, Vekthar said, and I will deliver your message. Hana smiled slightly. We know. That is why we chose you for this meeting. You understand now. You have seen what humans can do. You will tell the truth. The meeting ended. As Vekthar prepared to leave, Tae-hyun approached him. I am sorry about your soldiers, the human said. War is terrible. We did not want to kill them. But you did not give us choice. Vekthar stared at him. You pity me. No, I respect you. You learned. You adapted. You saved your remaining forces when continuing would have been suicide. That takes courage. Different courage than fighting. But courage nonetheless. The human extended his hand. A human gesture of peace. Vekthar looked at that small, soft hand. It had signed orders that killed thousands of his warriors, but it had also shown mercy when it could have shown cruelty. He took the hand, shook it gently, afraid his strength would crush human bones. Perhaps in another life we could have been allies, Tae-hyun said. Perhaps we still can, Vekthar replied. Tae-hyun smiled. Perhaps. 1 year after the battle, Vekthar stood in a classroom, not as a commander, as an instructor. The Krillian Military Academy had assigned him to teach young warriors about tactics, about strategy, about the realities of modern warfare. Before him sat 200 cadets, young, eager, hungry for glory, just like he had been once. "Today we discuss humanity," Vecthar began. "You have all heard stories. Some call humans weak, some call them monsters. I am here to tell you the truth." He activated a holographic display. Images appeared. Earth, a blue world covered in water, green continents, white clouds. This is Earth. It looks beautiful, peaceful, but this planet is a death world. The gravity is heavy. The weather is violent. Earthquakes, hurricanes, volcanoes, floods. For millions of years, this planet tried to kill everything living on it. New images appeared. Ancient humans, primitive, carrying crude weapons. Humans evolved here. They were not the strongest species on their world. They were not the fastest. They had no natural weapons, no armor, no venom. By all logic, they should have gone extinct. But they did not, because humans have something other species lack: adaptability, intelligence, and the absolute refusal to surrender. Vecthar showed them footage from New Gyeongju. The cadets watched with wide eyes. Some looked away, others leaned forward, fascinated and horrified. Humans survived ice ages by making fire, survived predators by making weapons, survived disease by making medicine. Every challenge made them stronger. Every threat taught them something new. They fought wars among themselves for thousands of years. They built weapons that could destroy their own planet. Nuclear bombs, biological weapons, chemical weapons. They nearly made themselves extinct multiple times. And yet they survived, learned, grew stronger. He paused. Let the information sink in. I led 47 successful conquests before facing humans. I thought I was invincible. I thought humans were just another weak species. I was wrong. Humans do not fight for glory. They fight for survival. And they have spent 3 million years becoming very, very good at surviving. They will use any tactic, any weapon. They will sacrifice their own buildings, their own soldiers, themselves, without hesitation, without regret. A cadet raised her hand. "Sir, how do we defeat them?" Vecthar looked at her, young, confident, so sure that there was always a way to win. "You do not," he said simply. "You avoid fighting them. You make them your allies instead of your enemies. Because if you fight humans and win, you will pay a price so terrible that your victory means nothing. And if you fight humans and lose, you will join the hundreds of species that tried to destroy them and failed." Another cadet spoke up. "But sir, we are Krillians. We are warriors." "Yes, and warriors must know which battles to fight, must know which enemies to avoid. There is no shame in respecting a dangerous opponent. There is only shame in underestimating them and getting your soldiers killed." Vecthar showed one final image. Commander Tae-hyun, standing on the ruins of New Gyeongju. Behind him, human workers were already rebuilding, already recovering, already moving forward. "Look at this human. He commands no great army. He holds no powerful position. He is a simple colony defense commander. And he defeated me, defeated 300 of our finest warships. He did this not through superior strength, but through superior thinking, superior determination, superior will. Remember this lesson. Humans are not invincible, but they are dangerous, more dangerous than any species we have encountered. They are peaceful. They prefer cooperation. But if you attack them, they will show you what 3 million years of surviving on a death world has taught them." Vecthar turned off the display, faced his students directly. "In all my years of warfare, I fought hundreds of species. I faced creatures that could tear through armor. Beings with natural weapons, hive minds, telepaths. None of them frightened me. None of them made me question my abilities. But humans did. Because humans fight with something beyond physical strength. They fight with the accumulated knowledge of millions of years of survival. They fight with creativity, with adaptability, with the absolute certainty that giving up means death, and death is not acceptable. He walked to the window, looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, humanity is growing, spreading, building, making allies, creating trade networks. They are becoming a major power in this sector, and we have a choice. We can be their allies, or we can be their enemies. He turned back to his students. I have made my choice. I chose survival. I chose wisdom over pride. I chose to learn from my defeat rather than deny it. And now I teach you, so that you do not repeat my mistakes. The classroom was silent. The cadets looked at their legendary commander with new understanding. He was not a failure. He was a survivor, a teacher, someone who learned the hardest lesson of all. Some enemies cannot be defeated, only respected. Vecthar dismissed the class. As they filed out, he stood alone, thinking about Tai Hyun, about Hana, about all the humans who had shown him what real strength meant. He felt true terror only once in his life, when he faced humans in battle, and that terror taught him more than all his victories ever had. It taught him humility, wisdom, respect. It made him a better warrior by teaching him when not to fight. And as he looked at Earth's star on the navigation chart, he hoped other species would learn this lesson without paying the price he had paid, without losing thousands of soldiers, without facing the absolute determination of humanity in combat. Because humanity did not want to be feared. They wanted to be friends. But if you made them your enemy, you would learn why they were the most dangerous species in the galaxy. And that lesson would cost you everything.